Cardinals, of course, have the Buffalo Bills in town this weekend. Faced off against the Bills in Glendale on Sunday, and the Cardinals win an improbable 32-30 on a Hail Murray, as they're calling it, to end the game. Cardinals are now 6-3 on the season. Fantastic ball game. I was lucky enough to be there this weekend. Those tickets finally allowed me to go. And just amazing ball game all around. First half, fantastic. Running game for the Cardinals was great. We'll get into that. The defense on the Cardinals struggled against the pass to begin the game. The Bills were driving up and down the field with passing. Cardinals defense stiffened up and dominated the Bills there and kept them back. Bills scored late to take the lead. Cardinals get the lead back, of course, with the Hail Murray, as they are calling it, all over town. Fantastic game all around. Some negatives out there, though, that we're going to talk about here coming up. But let's get the obvious thing out of the way. This ending of this game was phenomenal, right? And for D-Hop to go up and snag that ball at the high point and come down with it with 3 defenders around him is absolutely ridiculous. Just ridiculous. That happened directly across from us on the other end of the field. You saw all the players go up. You saw nothing after that. It was just a sea of players. It was on the other end of the field. No fans were sitting in that area, so you didn't see anybody react. Nobody in the crowd reacted. Referee put his hands up. Everybody started screaming. All the Cardinals fans started screaming. Fantastic that he came down with it. We had to wait for the replay, because not only did he come down with it when he turned the opposite way of us to see what happened when he went down. Fantastic catch by Diop. Fantastic throw by Kyler Murray to even set that up. I'm going to show you both those kind of broken down here in just a minute. Of course, Kyler Murray had to avoid the defender coming his way. He was rolling to his left. He is a right-hander. He had to turn his body. He was falling backwards against the sideline. Throws the ball roughly 50 yards, 48 yards, whatever it was, to the perfect place where DeAndre Hopkins could go up and pick it out of the air, and no Bills defenders could do it. Fantastic end of the game after the Bills took the lead, which was also a good deal on that as well. So let's break down the ending really quick, because obviously that is the ultimate highlight of the season for the NFL. Fantastic ending. So let's break it down here. All right. So the Bills are down, and they drive down the field, and they get to this touchdown happened right in front of us. And when I had forgotten, watching the games on TV this year and not being able to go into the stadiums and watch the Cardinals, I forgot how you could see plays developed. And when this play was developing, I yelled, "No!" when Josh Allen rolled out, because I could see Diggs breaking on Patrick Peterson in the end zone, and I saw exactly where that ball was going. It was Bill's offensive play calling was beautiful. The play was ran perfectly. Patrick Peterson was doing his best to stay on the receiver. Say what you want about his defense. He was still there. Ball was placed where only Diggs could get it, falling in the corner of the end zone. Let's take a look at that play here real quick.
Stephon Diggs has been the best receiver in the NFL this season.
And he ran against their #1 cover guy, Patrick Peterson.
Has been the best receiver in the NFL this season.
And he ran against their #1 cover guy, Patrick Peterson.
Right? So I put it in the replay twice there for everybody. But as you can see there, Josh Allen rolls out to his left. Stephon Diggs hits a corner route into the back of the end zone. Ball is placed perfectly. Diggs has to dive to get it. Captures it. Fantastic. Bills go up a score. At that point, minute something left, you're just in dire straits for the Cardinals and their chances of winning this game. But Cardinals still have a chance. So they drive down the field. Some blithering in mistakes, things like that the Cardinals do. So they get it. And they get up there. And let me find the right video here. And let's watch how the Cardinals will win this game. If you haven't seen it and you're living under a rock, here it is for you.
A few minutes later.
Shotgun. Murray out of the pocket. 7 seconds. Out of the pocket. 6 seconds. Murray 7 seconds. Downfield. 6 seconds. It is. Oh, it's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins.
fantastic. One more time. Let's watch it for good old fun's sake here. Absolutely awesome. Watch Murray
A few minutes later.
Shotgun. Murray out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray heaves it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught.
Beautiful play call.
It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins.
Good job to the Cardinals on that. Absolutely. And as I said we'd break it down a little bit here. So there's two elements to this that are fantastic, and they both go together. Obviously, the catch is getting more play today than the Murray getting ready to throw it. But just watch. Pay attention. He gets the snap, and he rolls out to his left. There's a defender coming right at him that he has to avoid. When he's running to the sideline, to his left, he is a right-hander. He has to square up his body, turn it, square up his body, and as he's throwing it, he's falling backwards. And the sideline's there, and the Bills player's there. And he's got to get that ball down to the end zone, 48 yards. You try throwing opposite way, it's impossible to do almost. Very few quarterbacks can do it. Kyler Murray accomplished it here. Let's just watch that section of this play real quick here when it comes up.
Shotgun. Murray out of the pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds.
Right? Just fantastic in order to throw that ball that far down the field. Beautiful job by Kyler Murray. Just the way he could throw that ball off balance like that, running to his left, his non-strong side. And then watch D-Hop go up. Let's just concentrate on this part where he goes up with 3 defenders around.
Pocket. 7 seconds. 6 seconds. Murray heaves it downfield. It is. Oh, it's caught. It is caught. DeAndre Hopkins.
And it does not sound like that in the stadium, by the way, as well. It was interesting watching these replays after the game when I got home. Because in the stadium, when he landed on that ground, before that ref threw his hands up, you could hear a pin drop in there. Because you were just waiting to see something. Normally in a full stadium, you would have known by then what happened. Because Cardinals fans would have erupted, yelling if he would have caught it. That were sitting right there, they would have seen it. And that just didn't happen. You could hear a pin drop until that ref put his hands up, because it was just that. So it doesn't sound like that in the stadium. And that's another interesting dynamic I found out this weekend as well, from in the stadium and outside the stadium. Just fantastic. Everybody's enjoyed it. Even the Bills fans that were in attendance at that game, were just in awe of what happened, that ending that game. And it was just great. It was just a good time. You can't say anything bad about that by any stretch. Great ending to that football game that I thought was a great game all around as we go forward, right? Funny little story that comes out on this also is, you can't see it because obviously the cameras followed the ball there, but it is funny that Kyler Murray, when he threw that ball, he was hit, he went out of bounds, he flew out of bounds. He couldn't see anything, so he watched him catch that ball by looking back at the video screen that was behind the play so he could see what happens on there. And it's just great that's how he had to look at it to watch it win. You saw the offensive lineman, I believe it was DJ Humphries, with his mouth just gasp open as he's walking around after that, because he couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe what we just saw. It was fantastic. Loved it, right? Great end of the game. A lot of luck involved on that, but for everything to go together, just shows the fun stuff that the Cardinals are doing. A positive from this game, of course, they never gave up. The Cardinals fought to the end. Last play of the game, basically, they had to kick off again. I understand that with 1 second to go. But basically, end of the game, they were fighting, clutching and whatever the word is I'm trying to find, at the end of that game to try to win it. They just don't give up. They could have given up when Diggs hit that touchdown from Josh Allen to go up. They could have given up. They didn't. Another positive in this game, you cannot speak enough positives on this, the running game. This running game gashed the Buffalo Bills. There were running backs were going 2-3 yards before they were being touched. Kenyon Drake comes back from his ankle injury, gets in this game, kind of a surprise starter in this game, 16 carries, 100 yards of rushing. Kyler Murray had 11 carries for 61 yards. Kyler Murray does what he does, right? 2 touchdowns. Chase Edmonds had 8 carries for 56 yards. They just gashed this Buffalo Bills defense. This running game was alive yesterday. Offensive line needs their due credit. They were creating holes. They were letting the running backs get 2-3 yards down the field before anybody was there. It was a pure domination front on the running game. We have a negative at time to this coming up as well on there. And the negative that goes with that is the Cardinals and Cliff Kingsbury, especially in that first half, and also the last 2 drives before the Bills went down and scored, they got away from the running game, and they went to passing downs, which is where their drives stalled. In the first half, 3 field goals because they stopped running the football and went to a passing game when they were dominating on running in the first half. And then in the second half, as I said, the last 2 drives before the Bills scored, bad passing plays when they were dominating on the running game, and they could have run the clock down as well at that fourth quarter. Cliff Kingsbury's play calling gets very suspicious, and we've been watching it the last few weeks, and we've kind of given him a pass as we go. But in this game, it was very, very glaring, and it could have cost the Cardinals the game again this week, and it's something that we want to see improvement on. And we're not seeing it at this point, I don't believe, from the coaching staff and his play calling. Right? Another negative in this game is Corey Peters, man. We lost Corey Peters to a knee injury. We don't know as of now. I was looking all into it, trying to figure out. Of course, I'm recording this on Tuesday. And I was trying to find out, but it doesn't sound good. No positive is coming out of it from the Cardinals end. We might have lost Corey Peters for a long period of time. Already thin defensive line for the Cardinals, and he was getting it done this year. Hope for the best. Hopefully we can get him back at some point, but we'll have to wait and see when that comes out. Another negative, as I said, 3 field goals in the first half. The number 1 offense in the league was held to 3 field goals in the first half, partly because the Buffalo Bills defense, but partly also because they went away from what got them down to field goal range, and they went to a passing situation. I was sitting there with a friend of mine who's a Raiders fan and hadn't been following the Cardinals, and he was like, they're running the ball great. I said, well, they're about to start throwing it. And sure enough, they started throwing it, led to the field goals. Just disappointing on that play calling that comes out of the game by Coach Cliff, absolutely. Kyler Murray for this game was 22 of 32, 245 yards, 1 touchdown. Did have 1 interception there. Cardinals defense, after that first quarter and a half where the Bills were pretty much doing what they wanted to do in their passing game against the Cardinals, they really tightened up on them. One thing I will say about the Bills in this game was their first touchdown was kind of fun to watch. Their Isaiah McKenzie got the ball on a handoff from Josh Allen. Josh Allen flailed out, caught the pass, went in and scored. It's kind of a fun little play to watch, even if it was against it. But Josh Allen did have 2 interceptions. He probably could have had another one, maybe 2 more as well. But he did throw for 2 touchdowns. Of course, Isaiah McKenzie had 1 touchdown as well. The Cardinals defense shut down the Bills running game. Singletary did nothing, 4 for 15. Zach Moss was 7 for 20. And Josh Allen was 7 for 38 on the day. Shut it down. However, the secondary for the Cardinals, they got everybody back. Drake Kirkpatrick had an interception in this game, and they got back, and Cole Beasley still had 11 receptions for 109 yards and a touchdown. Stephon Diggs, 10 catches, 93 yards for 1 touchdown. John Brown, before he got injured, 6 catches, 72 yards out there. They did what they wanted to do in the passing game until the Cardinals figured it out in the second half, tightened up their defense, and then it kind of went away. Even though Stephon Diggs had the late touchdown, Cole Beasley had a mid-game touchdown, but they were still able to not give them all those yards they were giving them in the first half. Absolutely on that. So, interesting thing in this game, guys, is we always pay attention on this podcast on the time of possessions, right? Because I'm a firm believer if your defense is out there 35, 40, 45 minutes in a game, you're generally going to be struggling because the defense is going to be tired. Offense is going to have no rhythm because they haven't been out there. This game, Bills had the time of possession 30 minutes and 20 seconds. Cardinals, 29 minutes, 40 seconds. That's pretty much dead even on the game. And it was pretty much what this game was when you watched it. It was a dead even game. Both teams going back and forth, fighting for their yards and getting out there. It was a great game to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed this ball game. I actually was thinking about it. Did I enjoy it more because I was in the building and could see I wasn't restricted by the cameras? Yeah, that had something to do with it, but it was just a back and forth ball game where the teams were both, it was a hard fought, evenly matched game for the most part in terms of chess match, and it was just fantastic. It was great. It could have ended either way. The way it ended made it even more special, absolutely. I loved it 100%. The Cardinals offense, incidentally, continues to play really good. This game was the Cardinals' fifth straight game scoring 30 or more points and gaining 400 or more yards. That's craziness, people. That is absolutely nuts in terms of stats, in terms of scoring points and gaining in yards on this offense. This offense is growing. They do have their issues, as we talked about, with play calling. We've talked about it before. He goes away from what was working and stalls drives. They had no penalties in this game that stalled drives whatsoever. It was the play calling and the execution of these pass plays that they didn't need to go to when they were dominating in the running game, driving down the field, that cost the Cardinals a couple of those scores in the first half. 9 points in the first half against a team like the Buffalo Bills usually won't work. And the Cardinals were able to rebound and get some points on there. They had 9 points at halftime, ended up with 32. And I almost nailed the final score. I had it 32-28 last week. 32-30 ended up being the score. I'm pretty impressed with myself for that, if I may toot my own horn for a minute. Because I expected it to be a high-scoring affair as it went along. I expected it to be a dogfight. That's exactly what it was. So I loved every minute of this game. Now, like I said, the Cardinals started the game. They were good on the first drive. They drove it down the field, 13 plays, 75 yards, 5 minutes off the clock, kick a field goal. Right? And like I said, let's pay attention. They had a 25-yard run on this play by Chase Edmonds up the middle on there, right? A lot of passing on this play, absolutely, on here. But when you get down towards the red zone, and this was like right at the beginning of the game here. Let me scroll down here. I apologize. So this is how the play calling went on this first drive as we got down to here, right? So after the 25-yard for Chase Edmonds, it was 2-yard run at the Buffalo 44. 9-yard pass, Buffalo at the Buffalo 42. 7-yard pass, Buffalo 33. 7-yard run, Buffalo 26. 12-yard run, Buffalo 19. 2-yard run down to the Buffalo 7. Then this is where it goes south. Passing complete at the Buffalo 5. Passing complete at the Buffalo 5. Field goal on 4th down to go. So they had successful passes in this play, but when they got into the 30-yard line area, it turned into a running game, and then they go to 2 straight passes. So 1st and 10 was a 12-yard run. Then it was a 2-yard run. 1st and goal at the Buffalo 7. You're running the ball fine. Pass, incomplete pass, field goal. Incidentally, 23-yard field goal. So one of the things that we watch, of course, is field goals. He was 4 for 4 in field goals in this game. And one of the things we watch is the distances. Cardinals drove the ball deep into the Bills deal, switched to a passing game. It failed. 23-yard field goal. That's great. At least we saw that to begin the game. Then the Bills get the ball, and, of course, right down. 7 plays, 63 yards, touchdown. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the time frame. Cardinals defense was not good on here. They allowed a 31-yard pass to John Brown from Josh Allen on this drive. They basically threw the ball the whole time. It was a 6-yard pass, 10-yard pass, pass incomplete, 2-yard run, 31-yard pass, 2-yard run, and then the touchdown, which was a handoff to McKenzie, who then threw it back to Allen. So I think that technically counts as a run. Oh, no, McKenzie got it on the snap, so it was a pass. So what I was talking about was the Cardinals' pass defense was not good at the beginning of this game. Perfect example there. Cardinals get the ball back, punt, 3 plays, 3 yards, punt right back to the Bills. Bills go 10 plays, 31 yards. They had a big return on that punt. And the Cardinals tightened up there and held them to a field goal, 10-3 Bills. Cardinals get the ball back beginning of the second quarter, 10 plays, 56 yards. They go down 5:17 total time off the clock. So you're seeing some clock exemption from the Cardinals on these long drives. They get a field goal out of this, of course. But look at this again here, right? This one they did have a few penalties on. Offensive lineman for false starting. Kenyon Drake a false start. Offensive lineman false start. Pass incomplete. 7-yard run. 5-yard penalty again on Buffalo. Then a 9-yard pass, a 5-yard pass, a 5-yard run, a 5-yard run, a 1-yard run, a 4-yard pass, a negative 3-yard sack, field goal. Again, 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 26. They go strictly to 1-yard run on the 1st and 10, 2nd and 9, 4-yard pass. 3rd and 5, drop back to pass it, 3-yard sack. 42-yard field goal by Zane Gonzalez, this time from the Buffalo 24. So a longer field goal, but even a 42 is manageable. Cardinals drove it down into the thing. But again, drive stalls. The penalties didn't stall this drive. The penalties were early in this drive. What stalled this drive was going to the passing game mainly there on that last 2 or 3 plays. They kick off to the Buffalo Bills. 8 plays, 38 yards. Cardinals defense again. A lot of passing against the Cardinals defense here. 14-yard pass. 2-yard pass, field goal. Cardinals tighten up. Here's the interesting thing on this. 55-yard field goal against the Cardinals. How many longer than 50-yard field goals have the Cardinals had against them in the last couple of weeks? They've had at least 2, maybe 3, because another one's coming also at the end of the half here, right? A 58-yard field goal by Buffalo to end the half as well. 16-9 is the score going into halftime. As I said, it's the same. It is the same thing going through here. Cardinals are driving down the field. I could literally break it down for you. Run, pass every once in a while. And then when they get down into the area, they pass the ball 3 times, 2 times, 3 times, and then lose. Again, they got a 21-yard field goal to get 9 points here in the second half here. But again, same thing. To get down there, 11-yard pass, 12-yard run, minus 4-yard run, 1-yard pass, 13-yard run, 5-yard run, and then what the Cardinals do, pass it. So 1st and goal, 5-yard run, 2nd and 5, 2nd and goal at the Buffalo 3, pass incomplete. 3rd and goal at the Buffalo 3, pass incomplete. I don't understand why you're not running right there. You're running there. Your passes are falling incomplete in that short end zone there. It's bad play calling. Change it up. I knew it was coming. I told my buddy it was coming. The Bills know it's coming. And it turns out, pass incomplete. Then a 21-yard field goal attempt for Zane Gonzalez again there. We all see it coming. 3rd quarter comes out. Cardinals hold them. 7 plays, 35 yards. Buffalo gets the ball first. Get them to punt. Fantastic, right? Got some momentum. Momentum had changed in this game at this point. We had all noticed it. Cardinals are in command of this game. They get the ball back. First play. Drake runs it up the middle for 2 yards. Fumbles the ball. Recovered by Buffalo. So Cardinals have the momentum at this point in the game. End of the 2nd quarter. Beginning of the 3rd. Hold them to a punt. Fumble right off the bat by Kenyon Drake. What does Buffalo do that I absolutely love? They go down right off of a turnover and score touchdowns. I don't like it as much when it's against your team as I am the Cardinals. 23-9. Buffalo takes the lead. 3 plays, 32 yards, touchdown. But the Cardinals do what they do, and what I love also. After another team scores, they go down and match it as well. Cardinals get the ball back. 9 plays, 85 yards for a touchdown. On this one, this is the one where Kyler Murray runs at left tackle for the 1-yard touchdown. See, they ran the ball. They were dominating on the run here. If you look at the end of this drive, right, we talked about it. 11-yard pass, 7-yard pass, 6-yard run, 7-yard run, 1-yard run by the Cardinals. So instead of passing it in those and 1st and 10, 6-yard run, 2nd and 4, they have a 7-yard run, and then Cardinals on 1st and goal get the 1. They didn't try to pass it when they're that close down there, and they score the touchdown. So they obviously learned from their first half, and they made the decision to start running the ball that they were winning on, and they learned it in the second half and the 3rd quarter, and they scored by running it when it was working. Then the Buffalo Bills punt in on their next drive. Cardinals get a field goal on the next one. 4 plays, 3 yards. Yay, right? Zane Gonzalez hits a 45-yard field goal. This drive went nowhere, but they were already in the field goal area because they had the Buffalo Bills kicker did what you do not see anymore in the National Football League. He shanked his punt, which you see shank punts, but he shanked it 12 yards. It was off his foot sideways. It happened right in front of us, and he kicked that thing, and I said, that thing's going like 5 yards. Well, it ended up going 12. But Cardinals are already in field goal position. This was bad. I consider those types of plays turnovers. So a myth punt that went 12 yards. Cardinals get the ball at the Buffalo 30. That's like a turnover. You want to see points off of those plays. They didn't get the touchdown like you'd hope. The drive went nowhere quickly. Minus 1 yard run, 4 yard run, a pass incomplete, 45-yard field goal. They at least got points out of it. It's 23-19 at this point. Buffalo. Then the Cardinals defense steps up even more. Josh Allen, interception on this drive. This is the one where Patrick Peterson stepped in front of Stephon Diggs and intercepts the ball. Cardinals get the ball back. What do I love? What do we all love? We love scoring after turnovers. Cardinals go down 3 plays, 47 yards, touchdown. Kyler Murray ran off tackle for a 15-yard touchdown. Love it. Got the turnover, got the myth punt, field goal. Got the interception, touchdown. Solid. That's what you want to see. Cardinals have the lead, 26-23 at this point. Kickoff back to the Bills for the end of the third quarter. Bills are held to a punt. Fantastic, right? Then what do the Cardinals do, of course, right? You know it's coming. Throw an interception. They have a 20-yard run. They have an 8-yard run. They have a 7-yard run. They have a 3-yard run. Then D-Hop gets a 5-yard penalty for a false start. Then an interception. Kyler Murray throws it across the middle to Larry Fitzgerald. This is the one where Larry didn't catch it. He went to the ground. We weren't sure if it hit the ground or not. Ball popped up. Buffalo intercepts it. The ruling on the field stands. It was going to be whatever they ruled on the field because you couldn't tell if it hit the ground or not. They showed umpteenth replays in the stadium. Everybody had a different opinion. When it's that close, it's going to hold on that. But, kind of a freak interception, absolutely on there. But you had momentum on your side at that point, right? Then Buffalo Bills end up punting after that. They don't do anything on that drive. Cardinals get the ball back, end up punting. Then the Cardinals get another interception. First play, Josh Allen tries to throw the ball to Davis. Drake Kirkpatrick on the sideline, dives, picks off the ball. Fantastic. Cardinals get the ball back. Right? What do I love? Let's go down to score. Nope. On this one, Cardinals went 3 plays, -6 yards. Here's what you got to be watching, though, right? We are currently in the fourth quarter of the game. Cardinals have a 26-23 lead right now. They punt. Bills punt. Cardinals punt. Cardinals get an interception. 3 plays, -6 yards. They take 56 minutes off the clock with a 3-point lead against the Bills. Pass incomplete. Well, first down, pass incomplete. Second down, pass incomplete. Third down, -6 yard sack. Why aren't you running the ball there? Taking time off the clock. Even if you have to punt, you would have at least taken 3-4 minutes off the clock. You took 56 seconds off the clock with 2 incomplete passes and a sack. Unacceptable in that position. I saw afterwards Cliff Kingsbury said that he wanted to be aggressive on that. That's fine with being aggressive. There's also fine with you have a 3-point lead and you need to take that clock down a little bit. Right? Things he needs to learn. Because what happens now? Buffalo goes down, and that's the Stephon Diggs touchdown I showed you earlier. 30-26, you think the game's over. You're thinking about the 9 points they kicked the field goal in the first half because they went to a passing game. You're thinking about these last 2 drives, the last punt, and then the one before that where they also punted because they passed it. You're thinking about what could have been at that point. Of course, Cardinals get the ball back. 4 plays, 75 yards. Hail Mary, 32-30, kick the extra point. Bills get the kickoff and do nothing after that. Cardinal victory. Again, there's negatives in every game. There's positives in every game, win or lose. There's never a perfect game. And in this game, the play calling is what. I mean, they learned their lesson in the first half. I showed you in the third quarter where they went to the running game when they were close to the thing. But then they went sideways again where they went to a passing game when they needed to be running clock off with a 3-point lead. Right? Things that need to be cleaned up. And it's starting to become a pattern with Cliff Kingsbury that he's doing these mistakes in these situations. I'm sorry, it's not starting to become, it is a pattern at this point. We've picked up on it. We're all following it. We need to see some improvement on that side. Absolutely, 100% moving forward. Kyler Murray is getting some accolades again here from this week's games as well. Kyler Murray has officially broken his own franchise record for rushing yards in a season by a quarterback. He had 544 yards last year, and he's blown by that this year, right? Completely blown by it. And then other Kyler Murray accolades. He's the first player in NFL history to record a passing and rushing touchdown in a game 8 times in the first 9 games of a season. Think about that. He has scored a passing and rushing touchdown in 8 games this season out of 9. His 8 such games in 2020 are also tied for the most in single season in NFL history. We have an exciting quarterback here. We have an exciting offense. Even with these play calling flaws, the inconsistency that comes out of it, this team is fun to watch. This kid is special. If he protects himself out there, this team's got nowhere to go but up. And they're showing it now. Absolutely 100%. And if you are negative on the Cardinals right now, it's just because you want to be. This team is fun. Even if you're not a Cardinals fan. I had a Raiders fan sitting next to me at this game, and he enjoyed this more than anything he's ever enjoyed before in his life. This team is fun to watch, even though they make you pull your hair out with these play calling deals that we pointed out. Fun to watch. Get on board. They're not going to be consistent. They're going to drive us nuts, right? They're going to be inconsistent at times. They're going to drop another game or two that they're not supposed to. This team is fun, win or lose. Absolutely, 100%. It needs to be recognized by everybody, right? So the NFC West standing, fascinates me right here, right? Cardinals are in the first place in the division. It's 6-3 right now because the Seahawks lost over the weekend to the Rams. So the Cardinals are in first, Rams are in second place with 6-3, and the Seahawks are in third place with 6-3. And the Niners, even with all their injuries, are 4-6 right now. I expect them to continue to follow off a little bit. And then, of course, Cardinals have to play the Rams 2 more times this year. Those are going to be big, huge games. Huge games. Those are their toughest games coming up. Besides this one, Thursday night, Seattle versus Arizona. Seattle's coming off of a losing streak. A loss to, like I said, to the Rams on Sunday. Seattle is struggling on offense and defense right now. And the Cardinals have to go to Seattle and face them off on a short week. Cardinals come off a huge victory. Hopefully that momentum can continue right into Seattle this weekend. And I'm pulling up real quick here my notes. It's taking me a second. Gotta love when I have to do production in the field, right? So the Seahawks struggling. There's no other word around it. They're struggling on offense. Russell Wilson had a horrible game on Sunday. A couple more interceptions. He had 3 interceptions against the Cardinals the other day. Absolutely. Moving forward, which Russell Wilson's going to play on Thursday night? Cardinals defense, they just went into overtime to play each other the other week. It's a tough game. Problem is short week. Throws a little bit of a wrinkle into it as we go into this game. On there, Seattle lost to the Rams on Sunday. They lost to the Bills last week. They beat the 49ers. So they're on a 2-game losing streak. They beat the 49ers the week before. They lost to the Cardinals the week before. They've lost 3 out of 4. They barely beat the Vikings by 1 the week before that. They beat the Dolphins. They beat the Cowboys before that. They beat the Patriots. And they beat the Falcons. If this was a Sunday game where both teams get a rest and everything, to be honest with you, I would kind of favor the Cardinals in this game just because Seattle is struggling right now on offense and defense. The injury list is ridiculous for both teams right now. Coming off of this weekend's games, I mean, 1,000 players, it feels like, right? Everywhere. It's just injuries everywhere. For the Cardinals, Devondre Campbell had a calf injury after that game. Daryl Daniels, tight end, had an ankle issue. Larry Fitzgerald and D-Hop. Oh, actually, they're not injured. They just veterans time off, right? They're not going to practice this week for Thursday night. Justin Murray, a lineman, hand injury. Corey Peters, we talked about, knee injury. He's out for Thursday at least. He's not playing Thursday. Too quick of a turnaround. How soon can you get him back, if at all? We're waiting for a word on that, but it does not sound good. Jordan Phillips, defensive lineman, has a hamstring issue. Hassan Reddick, neck is still bothering him after that big hit that he took. I think, what was that, last week against the Dolphins? Jalen Thompson, the safety, has a shoulder issue. He played pretty good on Sunday. Charles Washington, a safety, has a groin issue. Max Williams, the tight end, also has an ankle issue. Buda Baker's groin, of course, is still bothering him. His name wasn't called a lot on Sunday in there, but it was good. Kenyon Drake has the ankle issue, but of course, he played really well, 100 yards rushing on his return. Drake Kirkpatrick is still dealing with that hamstring issue. I mean, Seattle's injury situation is way more dire than the Cardinals is going into Thursday night. And looking at it all, looking at what's going on, seeing how Seattle has played the last 2 weeks, I think Seattle's on a downhill trend right now. Now, granted, it's the Cardinals. They're at home. Their favorite Thursday night home teams just have an advantage over the traveling team in terms of rest, in terms of getting ready for the game. They want to come back. They want to beat the Cardinals, who just beat them 3 weeks ago, roughly, 4 weeks ago. And they're going to have some revenge factor on that. Cardinals come off this emotional win. This is a tough game. If this game was on Sunday, I would actually pick the Cardinals 100%. High-scoring type game. It's kind of like last time. Cardinals would get a couple interceptions. Seattle's defense. Can Seattle's defense stop the Cardinals' offense? If the Bills' defense couldn't stop the Cardinals' offense, they did in the first half to field goals, but they were still getting field goals out of it. I don't know if the Seattle defense can. They are not good right now. They're not good at all this year. They're getting worse as the season's going on. Injury status is crazy. I'm picking the Cardinals to win this game. I'm going to go with a 28-21 type of a ball game this weekend on Thursday night. Another Cardinals victory in Seattle. I don't know. The difference is the defense against the Cardinals offense. Can the Seattle defense stop the Cardinals offense from scoring? Because I think the Cardinals defense is going to be able to stop Seattle from scoring and maybe get some turnovers. There's no run game there. It's Russell Wilson only. His receivers aren't getting open. DK Metcalf had another bad game on Sunday. Patrick Peterson needs to step up again and shut him down. I think that's the difference in this game. It's a 28-21 Cardinals victory Thursday night against the Seattle Seahawks. It's a quick turnaround this week. We're all getting over Sunday's miraculous win, and we got to turn around and get ready for Thursday night. And it's going to be an exciting game to watch. I'm looking forward to it 1,000% for Thursday. Totally looking forward to this. You're excited. Good game regardless, hopefully, as we go into it. So let's see what happens. So let me know what your guys' prediction is for Thursday night against the Seahawks. Let me know your thoughts on anything I said about the Bills game. Any follow-up or any concerns you guys have that I haven't talked about on there. Absolutely. I'm not, definitely don't be afraid to comment and let me know what y'all think, because I'm interested as well on if there's something I'm missing or something we need to think about here on this podcast going forward into these games as we go. So the Cardinals offense, as we've talked about, is number 1 in offense. Seattle's offense is number 5 in the league. Seattle's defense is 32nd in the league. Cardinals defense is 16th in the league. That's why I think the difference in this game, Cardinals offense is going to be able to do a little bit more to the defense. The defense of the Seahawks isn't going to be able to stop these Cardinals. If the Cardinals get stopped, it's because of play calling, going away from what's working like they did against the Bills. That's the way they're going to get stopped in this game. So go Cardinals. Of course, everybody, you can reach the main event at the Main Event Pod. We put all of our show notes up on there. This is posted on there as well, and all the podcast systems as well. My personal Twitter is at SMAC500, SMAC500. And of course, thanks for watching or listening on the podcast systems, if that's how you do it. Let me know your opinion on the Cardinals. Go Cardinals! And we'll have the breakdown of this game after Thursday night. I'm going to do a special one on Friday, recapping the Thursday night game. And then I'll do another one to preview the next game coming up next week after the weekends of games. But go Cardinals. We'll see you all later. Thanks for watching.